I'm going to present an individual who has possibly witnessed some of the atrocities that we have talked about. And today's presentation is pretty much going to allow us to get firsthand stories of the atrocities that he has witnessed. Mr. Alexander Valeryevich Lapshin is a well-known Russian-Israeli travel blogger and a journalist, and he has visited more than 146 countries. The world media pretty much began to widely cover the atrocities of Lapshin when in 2016 he was arrested in the Minsk at the request of the Azerbaijani authorities, and he was extradited to Baku concerning the blogger. On May 20, 2021, just a year ago, the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg ruled on the blogger's complaint against the Republic of Azerbaijan, finding the country's authorities responsible for the illegal arrest, torture, and attempted murder against Lapshin. Please join me in welcoming
hello, good day. This is a huge honor and pleasure for me to take a part in this extremely important event. So I met here a number of people who also passed the same experience as me in the Azerbaijani jail. And I hope that my experience and my my doings will somehow support what you do here, and the Azerbaijani authorities will be punished for their crimes they committed. And that's it. So I spent 7 months in a solitary cell without windows, without television. The first 2 months without books, without newspapers, just like in the movie Midnight Express. You know, I think you know this old American movie, Midnight Express. And the same language and the same calls from the mosque, Allahu Akbar. It's all the same. I really like this movie. A food was extremely bad, but better than the Belarusian food in the jail. so porridge with the part of insect inside in the morning, called perlovka in Russian, perlovka. So like kind of soup with a small pieces of cabbage and potatoes in the afternoon. Like lunch, and in the evening mashed potatoes, and once again porridge. All the same every day. Grechka, potatoes, porridge, and so on. So in the first, I think, month and a half, I wasn't allowed for any communication with the outside world, so I couldn't even call to my family. But I was lucky enough to be visited by the Red Cross representative of the Red Cross and Israeli ambassador, actually consul general, who came to visit me once. And so I was told by the Azerbaijani prosecutor, deputy prosecutor general Rustam Usubov, he met me once. I was told we're running to the judgment. So I will be accused of illegal crossing to Azerbaijani territory, so visiting Karabakh. And then, in case I will recognize Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan, I will be released. I will go home. So I even was told that, please don't worry, you will receive like 10, 15 years in the jail, but don't worry, we will send you to Israel. So don't worry. But you must recognize Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan. So I was explained by, his name was Kamal Talibov, Colonel Kamal Talibov. He's the son of the ex-head of the High Court of Azerbaijan. So kind of intelligence, Azerbaijani intelligence. So he told me, we know exactly, they said, you are just a fellow guy, you are just a traveler. We have nothing personal against you, but we have to show the world that Karabakh is our territory. So in case you will cooperate with us, you will go home. In case you will not cooperate with us, he said, we will put you in a special cell with homosexuals, and they will put a bottle inside of you, and different other, so-called jokes, low-level jokes. So I spent 7 months. I think on June 2017, my trial started. So they accused me of illegal crossing to Azerbaijan, accused me on calls against the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, and personal assault against President Ilham Aliyev. So like 3 points. So insult against Ilham Aliyev means, so I called him dictator. So so my lawyer, I was lucky to receive, I think the best lawyer for me, at least for me in Azerbaijan, Eduard Chernin. He was a head of a Jewish community of Baku and the lawyer as well. So he was the best in my case. No. It was, it's paid by the family. So from the beginning, I was given a free lawyer from the government. His surname is Guseinov. This guy told me, from the beginning, he told me, look, you must confess, you must cooperate, otherwise you will die here. So I tried to tell him, look, you're my defender. How can you tell me I had to cooperate with the government? He said, look, this is just a political game. You must, follow the rules. In this case, we'll go home. Otherwise, I'm sorry about you. So, but actually, I was ready to recognize everything. Even I ready to recognize Alaska as a part of Azerbaijan, really, and Brazil. So, no, really, this is not a big business. When he is treating you with the sexual violence, you will ready to recognize everything. So I told him, I can recognize Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan, and Alaska and everything you like, and South Africa part of Azerbaijan. He said, no, Karabakh is enough. I said, okay, Karabakh is enough. So what actually surprised me, I talked with many kind of mid and high level officials and the prosecutor office of Azerbaijan, and Kamal Talibov, and one more guy is a General Usubov, and the third one, I don't remember his name, Nasibov, I think Rustam, Vugar Nasibov, one more guy, very educated and very intelligent guys. Number of them just studied in Moscow State University. So they could talk fluent Russian in English. And so I asked them, guys, so you're smart guys. How can you accuse me in this sort of shit? They said, look, this is real politics. We're fighting for our lands. So we just use your case to show to everyone, to show the world that this is our territory. Nothing personal. He said, if you cooperate with us, we'll cooperate with you. So we will be back home and everything will be good. And I was ready to recognize everything, as I said, but unfortunately, I was assaulted in my cell by 4 masked men. Immediately, like 2 or 3 weeks after the final decision of the court, so they decided that I received like 3.5 years in jail. I was told immediately by my lawyer, don't worry, we'll go home. Don't worry, this is just for the, for the press, for media, to show to our Azerbaijani citizens that we punished you, and then we'll go home. No one care about you. I was somehow happy to go home because after 7 months, even in a total 9 months of horrible conditions, in a smallish cell, like 3 and 3 meters, and toilet, it's like a hole in the concrete. And I've got water like 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, cold water. And I could take a shower like once per 10, 15 days. I was taken to another cell with the hot water. So, so I think a biggest, torture for me, it was more like psychological, because when you stay in a small, small cell without any contact with the outside world, without television, without books, without everything, and just one small lamp at 24 hours, even in the night, you just started to think about different, different strange things. So you just go crazy. And they tried to somehow to mislead me in my, my thoughts. For example, I didn't have a watch. So I couldn't check the time. So for example, if they brought porridge, which means this is a morning. If they bring, mashed potatoes, it's lunch or evening. But they changed it just to make me crazy. So for example, after the mashed potatoes, I had to go sleep because it could be like about maybe 9, 10 in the evening PM. But I couldn't fall asleep. So it was very strange. So I was just lying in the bed, but I couldn't sleep. And suddenly I heard, praise in the mosque, Allahu Akbar. It should be 4 in the morning. So I was finally assaulted to myself. 4 masked men entered my room, opened the door with the key, and I was sleeping actually. So I woke up because one of them just jumped on my chest and started to strangle me with the fingers like this. And 3 of them kept my limbs, my hands, and my legs. So I couldn't do anything. And then they put pillow or blanket or something put on my head, so I couldn't see it. And then I lost my consciousness. And the next time when I opened my eyes, it was after 4 days. It was an intensive care unit of Baku Hospital. I was with the broken ribs and hands and teeth and a huge hematoma here. And I couldn't imagine that already 4 days passed. So when I opened my eye, actually my eye, because this eye was, closed because of hematoma. So I saw the Azerbaijani officials around me and Israeli Consul General, and they were actually happy that I survived. So Israeli Consul General, she whispered to my ear, please keep low profile. We know everything. I tried to explain her that this is not a suicide. So they insisted. They tried to commit suicide, but they saved my life. Actually, they attacked me, assaulted me in a cell. So she said, we know everything. Please keep low profile. So Ilham Aliyev decided to let you pardon and send you home. So after you will be able to fly, so we'll go home. That's it.
Even after those experiences, you're still a very vocal, voice against President Aliyev. And I know that you're preparing to actually file a lawsuit against President Aliyev. Are you not afraid?
No. I just started to be afraid actually, because so first of all, this is kind of a Jewish mentality, When we sit here, we will not let them go. This is till the end. And the second point, look, I spent 3 years in the Israeli army on different battlefields in Lebanon and Syria. So I was somehow prepared for this exercise in a jail. So as for now, I see that I actually I have to, to continue my way. And I think the decision of the Strasbourg court is not enough. So our next step is the American court. And this is going to be my personal lawsuit against President Ilham Aliyev. I think it could be the first time in the history, the first president in history, and against like 5-6 officials around him, like Hikmet Gajiyev, who just commented on my arrest, and he told that Azerbaijan is a democratic state and my rights protected. And finally, I was assaulted in a cell. A prosecutor, deputy prosecutor general of Azerbaijan, Rustam Usubov, and different other guys. So that's going to be kind of my present to them. As for the safety, of course, I'm ready to die every day. So I wake up, I'm happy that I woke up. Even after this event with my arrest, they tried to kill me at least twice, maybe more, but I was lucky enough to avoid it. The first time, actually, they opened a new criminal case against me. Yeah, it's a new criminal case. I was informed by the Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs that it's better for me to stay in Israel and not to go abroad because of Azerbaijan is about to send a request to Interpol. But Interpol finally refused the application. But 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, on December 19, I was invited to participate in a tourist conference in Riga, Republic of Latvia. And I was like via London, so I landed in London, and from London to Latvia. So in London, I was called by one of journalists, a BBC journalist, who took an interview from me like a little bit before, and he told me, "Look, a couple of guys from our intelligence, they want to talk to you." So I met them in their Waterloo railway station in London. They told me, "You're not advised to fly to Latvia because based on our information from our sources, no, he will be killed." No extradition. They said in Britain, those guys just presented the IDs, I think like intelligence or something. They told me this time they will not going to arrest you. So I asked, so what's gonna be? They said it will be end of you. So they told me that a head of Azerbaijani intelligence, General Ali Nagiev, instructed somebody, criminal groups on ex-Soviet Union, just to search and wait for me, including Latvia. And they called even the name of the guy who is responsible to kill me in Riga. His surname is Mamedov. He's one of the head of Azerbaijan diaspora in Latvia. I don't want to tell because he'll accuse me of, your lawyer, So when I landed in Latvia, actually, I was stopped by the border police and taken to absolutely another place. They said, "This is your safe haven for the 3 days, and then we'll be deported." Actually, not deported, we'll be sent to Israel. So I was taken by the police to the Lithuanian border, and that was a kind of exchange of police cars, and they took me to Vilnius airport, and I flown to Israel. It was the first time, and the second time. So now I think about it. So they tried to somehow to bring my body as a present to Ilham Aliyev. So every time they try to hit me, it's happening in December, between 15 and 25th of December. Oh, really? It's unbelievable. So the second time, once again, 15th of December, 2020, one of my actually friends, Russian journalist, he advised me to go to visit Russia and to participate in a kind of event in city of Yekaterinburg, where I was born. And it sounds kind of a little bit strange. I don't remember the small details, but it was strange for me because I checked in the internet. There were no any event. And he just mentioned name of somebody. So I called to this man. He said he doesn't know about any event. So I tried to get in touch with both my contacts with Russian intelligence and those guys in London, and then Latvia as well. So I've got all of them in my phone. So I just sent them the screenshot, and so I recorded my conversation with this man in Yekaterinburg. And after about 2 weeks, they told me, this is once again from Ali Nagiev. So they tried to bring you to Yekaterinburg and to kill you there. And at least for now, I cannot go to Russia. I have a huge list of the countries that was provided by Israeli foreign ministry. For me, it's like 35 countries. No go zone for me.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're